house.
And he was showing us slides.
What's the real story there? I was wondering.
Mostly nonsense, unfortunately.
Was it really?
Yeah, mostly what it is
documentary.
evidence of lost civilizations, ancient civilizations that were incredibly advanced. I follow the work of Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson and a few other people that are being proven actually correct more and more, almost on a daily basis, by new discoveries that show that that civilization predates what we initially thought. With the initial, the initial thought was that somewhere around the Great Pyramids, which is like 2,500 BC, that was about as good as anybody got. You go back to like ancient Sumer, which is about 6,000 years ago, and then that's basically it. What they're saying is that, no, there was most likely a reset, a global reset of civilization due to a cataclysmic disaster. And there's a shit ton of evidence. There's massive evidence in the form of this nuclear glass that exists when there's asteroidal impacts. And also there's a guy named Dr. Robert Schoch, who's one of the first guys to propose this. It's actually, when he freaked me out on the podcast, he said there was a mass coronal ejection that most likely caused lightning storms, like a rainstorm, but lightning. Like that much lightning destroying the ground. And that the only people that survived were people that could get undercover, that could get into like caves.
Terrifying.
Yeah, and mass extinction of 60+% of the large mammals in a very short window of time, almost instantaneously in North America. The end of the Ice Age, like 10,000 plus years ago, there was a mile-high ice in most of North America.
Right.
Most of North America covered in ice, and then gone. And all these areas, all these points of interest point to this one moment in time that's somewhere between 10 and 12,000 years ago that some big event happened, and that most likely just crippled civilization, and then people had to rebuild whatever people were around.
Well, because also that they found, like, just looking at DNA, that all of humanity at one point got wiped out except for like one village. That there was only that everyone has descended from the same group of about 5,000 people.
Well, there was a super volcano that erupted somewhere around 70,000 years ago. They think this is predating this cataclysmic disaster 12,000 years ago, that they are pretty sure wiped human beings down to a few thousand folks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Where's that one? Is that like, I want to say where's that super volcano? There's a super volcano that knocked everybody down. We'll find it.
Yeah. We got one under Yosemite, right?
Oh, it's
or Yellowstone. One under Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
It's a caldera.
Yellowstone's going to get us all.
Every 600,000 to 800,000 years, it
I
blows.
think we're due, right?
That's why I don't go camping.
Don't
That's
go
right.
camping. Well, if you do, that might not be the worst place to go.
No.
But go camping.
Be over in
that
a
way.
second.
That way when it ends quick. You don't want to be living in New York.
No.
Just choking
Just
on
a cloud
toxic
of dust.
fume.
Yeah. That's the worst.
Watching people eat homeless folks in the street.
Yeah.
There's no
do that now in New
good
York.
place. Yeah. Well, there's also like things that fly through space and zip by. You know, and they're
just miss us
constantly
so bad.
finding these things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, the airplane Vatican thing. I remember as a kid going. My problem was that they kept showing these massive paintings that can only be seen from the sky. So therefore, there must have been drawn for your aliens. And I kept going, no, if you believe God is looking down on you, you're going to draw big paintings for God to look at.
Right.
So you don't need that. But now I'm more the thing I've become obsessed with lately is the skepticism about UFOs.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because you told me that you've become obsessed with UFOs recently.
Oh yeah, completely. And it's
Believer?
Yeah, totally.
Really?
Yeah, I totally believe the UFO phenomena is real. I don't know what it is, but it has to be real.
Something's happening.
Why is that?
Because there's just way too much evidence that it is real.
What evidence?
Radar evidence that the F-16 locked on a UFO, that footage, and also just like I know that a friend of ours, I don't know if she wants to say it, but her father was an air traffic controller, and he told her, they said, yeah, every air traffic controller has seen something.
Yeah.
And I had another friend whose father was a commercial pilot, and she said, yeah, my dad said every single pilot has seen something. And they've all been told not to say anything about it.
We had a couple of friends that say they were abducted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the abducted one is a little easier to wrap your head around, because when you're sleeping, your brain is producing all sorts of endogenous psychedelic chemicals.
Yeah.
Almost all of these experiences happen when you're sleeping. almost all these experiences when these people are abducted, they're taken from their beds, which is when they're dreaming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like there's some real clear, easy steps to follow if you want to follow Occam's razor and not get crazy with
But
it.
it knocks those out, but it doesn't knock out like Barney and Betty Hill and all the people that are abducted will fully conscious and that remember it without hypnotherapy. Like I'm not sure about the abduction phenomenon. But
I don't know Barney and Betty Hill. I know the story,
Yeah.
but I don't know them.
Yeah.
So I would have to know them because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that I've like. I did a show for Sci-Fi called Joe Rogan Questions Everything.
Yeah. I watched that show.
That cured me. That
Yeah.
show cured me of a lot of my nonsense with conspiracies.
Well,
and,
we used to talk about
yes.
Yeah, that stuff all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I needed to actually study it. So for 6 months, that's basically all I did. I interviewed people, and I like Bigfoot believers, UFO
Yeah.
believers, all. And the one thing that they have in common is they all seem to be kind of lost and dependent upon this thing being real.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of being objective, there's only one lady that I interviewed that saw Bigfoot that
Yeah.
really seemed to be telling the truth. But I think she saw a bear. I
Yeah.
think bears walk on 2 feet all the time. They do it all the time. There's
Yeah.
video footage. You can find it all the time. And she was in the Pacific Northwest, which is incredibly dense woods. You see something, you glimpse it. Look, I was hunting once in Canada, in Alberta, and I thought I saw a wolf for like 2 seconds. It was a squirrel. Okay? Understand
Yeah.
this.
A
This
very
is,
big
like,
squirrel?
What is that? Wolf? No, squirrel.
Yeah.
No, I just saw fur.
Right.
I saw
Yeah.
fur, and I was, because it's really
But you're
dense
convinced.
woods.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for fucking wolves. Because I was like, because I know we did see one wolf across the road. It was either a wolf or a coyote. It was hard to tell because it was at dusk. It was very dark out. But when you're looking for something, you think everything is that thing you're looking for.
Yeah.
So like for a
Expectations
second,
are huge.
I thought that fucking squirrel was a wolf.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, expectation and perception are very linked.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
there's also that they found that 50% of everything you see is a product of memory.
Yes.
That when you observe something, they've done fMRIs, and that most of the activity in the brain is in the memory centers, not in the visual centers.
Interesting.
Only about 50% of the activity is in the visual centers of the
You know,
brain.
the UFO.
That's crazy.
The UFO
Yeah.
thing is very. When I was a kid, I went and saw Carl Sagan speak at U of T at the University of Toronto, and I was like, 14. But he did an equation on the board of the possibility of alien life other than us in the universe. And it came to the smallest. I mean, he spent the whole time writing on this chalkboard. It was fascinating. He actually came up with a number at the end. And it was such a small. He says there is something out there, but they are so far away that
Yeah.
that unless they can go faster than the speed of light, which he said was impossible at the time,
Yeah.
the 70s,
Yeah.
there's no way we've seen them. That's what he said. So if some other beings have conquered the speed of light thing, then maybe we could see them.
Yeah, but that's a thing with is that problem with this skepticism in general is like that it, like the skeptics of the 19th century were the ones who said germs don't exist,
Right, because we can't see them.
and people who said germs did exist were ridiculed and laughed out of the trade, right? And
I agree with you completely. Just because you can't see it or it isn't
Yeah.
happening doesn't mean it can't happen.
and even since Sagan's day, there had been no exoplanets discovered then.
Right.
We now know that there are literally trillions and trillions of Earth-like planets.
Yeah, but they just speculated as to the
Yeah.
existence of them outside of our solar system before. The real problem is that if there's a leap, a technological leap that opens the doors to massive innovation.
Yeah.
That once this happens, and then all this stuff sort of exponentially expands in terms of the technological possibilities, all you would need is a few hundred years, and you have an unrecognizable set of technology.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
Well, you were talking about CERN. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole antimatter idea that they're still trying to figure out.
yeah,
That's an insane sorts of energy that
Sure.
we have never even experienced.
Yeah.
You know, with a grain of sand that
Yeah.
can run a city. And
Yeah.
it was that big.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then there's also a theory, there's a recent one, that space-time itself doesn't exist. So the speed of light barrier becomes moot because I guess it's the quantum holographic theory of the universe.
Yeah.
That-
Is that
There's
Michael
also,
Talbot's book?
I can't remember.
Holographic Universe?
But
Is that who wrote that?
yeah, I think so. But the idea that the universe is basically just a geometry that when you look at it from a certain angle seems three-dimensional.
Right, and it folds into itself, so you could
And it's
travel through. That's the wormhole thing.
Well,
right?
it's not even that. It's the idea that space-time is an illusion, and that it doesn't really exist, and that's why entanglement is possible. The idea that spooky action at a distance.
Yes.
That
quantum theory.
entanglement.
But the reason that these atoms on opposite ends of the universe can affect each other instantaneously
At the same moment.
is because they're not really at opposite ends of the universe. They're really right next to each other. It just seems like they're at opposite ends of the universe.
Because our ability to perceive is basically based on what we have to do to stay alive on this planet. So our meager little chimp brains are trying to quantify all of these things that are around us all the time. So we put them into this sort of three-dimensional box of movement and distance and
that the
time.
entire universe could be a compact thing that projects itself like a hologram onto a screen.
I love these kind of conversations because I'm clearly too stupid to really understand what we're saying.
I don't understand. I don't understand anything I just said.
And I don't understand you two, so how stupid does that make me?
Well, we don't understand each other. So
This is perfect.
We're all the same. Yeah.
That's not
Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking
about. Something about ufology, because one thing is the assumption that they're extraterrestrial is an assumption. But the thing that intrigues me is the power of ridicule to silence even the most intelligent people in our community from examining something. Like the ridicule kept doctors from accepting germs.
Sure.
Because they didn't want to be ridiculed by their peers. And even now, you've got people that will, like Michael Shermer, will cling to the most absurd explanations for phenomena like the F-16 radar footage.
What was Michael Shermer's
I can't even remember it, but it was pretty. It really went to great lengths that entailed having to basically diminish any respect you had for any of the people who reported on the events. It had to go into character assassination in order to eliminate it.
Yeah.
So yesterday, one of my homeboys told me that some physicist somewhere had transmitted data quantumly, and I kind of looked around for a minute and couldn't really find an article about it. He didn't say what his source was, but later in the day yesterday I came across an article for just that thing. Let's see. And these guys were just talking about quantum entanglement. So, the Daily Mail, is this a reliable source? I'm guessing it is. So the Daily Mail from December 27th, 2019 at 7:07 a.m. 5-minute read. Information has been teleported simultaneously between two chips for the first time, which could help protect the world's data using superfast quantum computers. Experts from the University of Bristol and the Technical University of Denmark were able to instantly send the data using a process called quantum entanglement. The information was exchanged without electrical or physical contact, as the process allows these particles to instantly communicate over large distances. This is useful in quantum computing and networks, as changing one particle will automatically change the other, says researchers from Bristol. The team says their study could lead to a quantum internet that would ultimately protect the world's information from malicious attacks. Their breakthrough, involving creating specially designed and programmable circuits within a chip that are able to generate light particles. The particles are then able to use quantum entanglement to teleport between different chips and maintain instant communication. Their team had a 91% success rate when getting the particles to talk to each other through the specially programmed computer chips. We were able to demonstrate a high quality entanglement link across two chips in the labs, says Dan Llewellyn. Llewellyn, I guess. Co-author of the study. Dude, you got a last weird name. His last name is Llewellyn. Why in the hell is that your last name? And they have some graphics here of different nodes that they're using on a chip. Bristol researchers were able to link. Oh, that's the same thing. Dr. Llewellyn and the team have been able to create devices that can generate and manipulate single particles of light within programmable circuits. The chips they create encode quantum information in light generated inside the circuits. They then process the information with high efficiency. Changing the properties of one particle causes the other to instantly change as well. This can happen regardless of the distance separated by the two particles, effectively teleporting the shared information. There is a hypothetical limit to the distance between the two particles. With quantum teleportation, information seems to travel instantaneously, meaning it is potentially moving faster than light. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. The team says that the teleportation is not only useful for quantum communication, but is a fundamental building block in quantum computing. Establishing an entangled communication link between two chips in a lab, however, has proven to be highly challenging, they said in a statement. However, they said their new process will enable higher quality, faster quantum circuits and is one of the most effective generated to date. They were also able to show other functionalities such as swapping, a process that requires the quantum networks to operate properly. They are also able to show processes involving photon states that is needed for the creation of quantum internet and quantum computers. Dr. Llewellyn says this is an important step that could lead to the creation of more complex quantum circuits required in quantum computing and communications. Lead author Dr. Janwi, Jianwei. So it's Jianwei. And the last name is Wang. I can say Wang because I have a Wang. Anyway, back to the science. Lead author Dr. Jianwei Wang said, in the future, integration in quantum photonic devices and classical electronic controls will open the door for fully chip-based CMOS compatible quantum communications and information processing networks. Woo, that was a lot to say. The research was published in the Journal of Nature Physics. What is quantum computing and how does it work? The key to quantum computing is the ability to operate on the basis of a circuit not only being on or off, but occupying a state that is both on and off at the same time. While this may seem strange, it's down to the laws of quantum mechanics which govern the behavior of particles that make up an atom. At the micro scale, matter acts in ways that would be impossible at the macro scale for the universe we live in. And that's a bunch more stuff, but we're going to stop right there. It's pretty cool, though. So, like I said, I've listened to several talks on quantum communications, quantum entanglement, quantum computing, and the advantages we may see from these technologies if we can get them down packed and able to work the way that we want them to work. So this is just another step in the direction of what is next. You know, from no television to having black and white TV to having color televisions to having 1080p flat screen televisions to having smart TVs. And so technology just progresses like that. And quantum computing is the same thing in the computer world, where we didn't have computers for a long time. Then we had some computers that took up like a whole warehouse, and then they got smaller. Then you had your own personal PC that you can have on your desk, and now we have like touch screen iPads and all these things like that. And so eventually we will get to a quantum computing era where, like they say, we can just send information instantaneously, almost like teleporting information there, where it can't get intercepted or hacked by some malicious bystander who's trying to, you know, corrupt your data and information. But we're still some ways off from quantum computing. But nevertheless, it is a very, very interesting thing. Sergio, are you a fan of Little Nas X? I know who Nas is. I'm a big fan of Nas. I don't know who Little Nas X is. I'm mad he stole Nas' name though. Like, I only know one Nas, Nasir Jones. You're the man. You're the man. You're the man. Cause your arm's too short to box with God. You know what I'm saying? If I rule the world, imagine that. I free all my sons. I love 'em, baby. I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. Oochie wally wally, oochie bang bang, oochie wally wally. You really make me wanna cut the. You really make me wanna go downtown. You really, really. Old Town Road. What's that? And do want sign my autograph. I'm not sure what that means, Sergio. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use proper sentence structures over here, dude. Like Old Town Road. That ain't even a whole sentence. I don't even know. Sounds like some secret password to get into a gay club or something. What's the password? Old Town Road. Right. You're an artist. It's nice. Cool, bro. I too am an artist. I am currently making art as we speak. You know? I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. You should follow me on Instagram so I can look at your art and critique it. So I can tell you if you're shit or not. I like telling artists if they're shit or not. It's fun. It's fun to me. Cause I'm not a shit artist. Shit art when I see it. So don't come in here saying you're an artist if you're making some shit art. Cause I'm gonna tell you that it's shit. And then I will politely ask you to get that shit out of here. Sanchez, man, you've been in my stream a few times, but you say one more dumbass thing like that, I will block you. Please. Please don't be so dumb. Okay? Final warning. Final warning. We're not gonna do the dumb shit, especially when it comes to art history. Most people don't even know how old the fucking Mona Lisa is. That ain't even how you spell the shit, bro. I'm just saying. Most people don't even know how old that fucking painting is. You know how old the Mona Lisa is? That shit is right at 500 years. Hey Siri, how old is the Mona Lisa?
The answer I found is 516 years.
516 years ago. Thank you, Siri, for confirming what I already knew. Shit, around 500 years old, man. 516 years. This motherfucker talking about I painted the Mona Lisa. Bitch, they ain't had YouTube 500 years ago. Fuck you talking about? I'm telling you right now, say one more dumbass thing, I'm blocking you from the chat. No more comments for you. You're gonna get blocked. I painted the Mona Lisa. No, you didn't. You know what? Who did what? This motherfucker come in asking me about somebody, Lil Nas X, and then tell me he paint the Mona Lisa. Boy. Well, if you don't get your ass out of here, boy. Boozy. What up, dude? I set this little drawing project to the side for a while, and I honestly almost forgot about it. But I'm back on it because it's basically done, and I just gotta finish up like one or two things on it. I gotta draw like 2 more pictures for this thing, but because this is it was a 2-part project. This is the second part. Part 1 is done, so I feel like I'm more than halfway done. So as soon as I can wrap this up, the better. And then when I get finished with this drawing, we can get back on to the look back through this. Look what Sergio up here talking about, yo. Sergio just being weird as hell, making shit awkward for no reason. You know? You know how some people are. I'm thirsty. I'm sober. I need to smoke something. This is what I need. Alright, let me put the markings on this one window, and then we're gonna indulge in some herbal essence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Such as thus. Oh, alright, then we're gonna go. I gotta get a new ruler, because man, this shit is so beat up. I can't hardly see my numbers on this damn thing. Which is the whole purpose of having a ruler, is to see your numbers. You know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Just like that. You're the man. You're the man. You're the man. You don't know about that shit. Somebody said, if every time you walk in the room, if you had one song that could play, what would that song be? And I type, Nas, You're the Man. I could just imagine myself walking to a room and that shit just start playing as soon as I come in the room. Like, yeah, you're the man. You're the man. I don't kill soloists, only kill squads. Your arms too short to box with God. Y'all don't know that shit, man. Y'all don't know. No! I only got like one paper left. And for all the kids out there, this is medical tobacco. We smoke the finest Native American red man homegrown fully organic tobacco over here. Best tobacco that money can buy. Puma. Oh. Pano. Cheers. Alright, see what you do is roll your tip. Roll your tip. Gently down the stream. People having some weird names for different stuff, man. Like, I'm gonna make me a strand. I'm gonna call that shit. My shit gonna be called biscuits and gravy. Everybody be wanting to have gelato and birthday cake and cookie dough and all this stuff, man. My shit gonna be called rice and gravy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come up with a strand. I'm gonna name that shit smoked turkey. What that is? That's that smoked turkey, boy. Smoked turkey. Ooh. I don't know about that smoked turkey. We call that shit beef jerky. Have some of that smoked turkey, some of that beef jerky. All right, just like that. Simple as that. Call this a joint. This is a cigarette. This is a cigarette because it has tobacco in it. And then you gotta always pack your cigarettes. Make sure it's packed nice and tight. All right. Nice. Now, like I was saying, back to the drawings. Back to the drawing board, literally.
It's the best way to kill an idea.
He's a professional skeptic, and I
Yeah.
like Michael a lot, and he's been on the podcast many times. But
Yeah.
I actually had him debate Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock about these ancient civilizations,
Yeah.
and it wasn't very good for him. Like
No,
there
well, I
were
think
some clunky
skeptics-
moments.
Because skeptics are believers.
Well, the problem is they're
In
believing.
skepticism.
They
Yes.
believe in
The
skepticism.
problem is being
Right.
a skeptic itself. It's
Yeah.
a stupid way to look at the world.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
You're actually
Yeah.
sure about something.
I mean, you should
Yeah.
be objective.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be skeptical.
Right.
Being
Yeah.
skeptical is like, I don't know. But
I know for sure that that's not true.
Yeah.
But it serves a massive purpose for people that really don't understand things, and he can explain it to you with actual science. As long as the actual science is being used, and it's not character
Yeah.
assassination, it's not mockery, it's not. There's certain people that are just debunkers. They
Yeah.
can call themselves skeptics, but they're not looking at things like, oh, maybe that is effective, maybe that is healthy, maybe
Yeah.
that is interesting. No, they don't look at it that way.
No.
They're looking at it, they're trying to pick it apart. And that's fine if you can pick it apart. But if you cannot, you have to be objective about the
Right.
fact that, oh, well, this is a very interesting
Yeah.
phenomenon, and this is what we know about science, and this is what we know about this thing. And
Yeah.
right now we have a weird conundrum.
Did
Yeah.
Chariots of the Gods
Yeah.
man? Did he?
Eric von Daniken.
Was he? Was he a believer?
100%.
Yeah.
He's all
Still
in.
is.
Still in.
Still
all
is.
in. I asked him. The first thing I asked him, I said, "What is
Can
the?"
I pause?
Yeah.
I desperately have to go pee.
No, go.
Yeah.
Go. The first thing I asked him was, "What is the most compelling piece of evidence?" And he pointed to this Mayan stone plaque that's in Palenque. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Is it in the book?
Yeah, it's a god, one of their former kings. That
And I know what he's gonna say too, because on this stone plaque, it's this Incan god, and he looks like he's in a spaceship, and it looks like he has a spacesuit on, and this is what it does look like. Honestly, it looks like there's some kind of tube or something that's going into his nose, like it's a breathing apparatus or something. And this is some old ass ancient Incan shit that's carved on like this fucking stone tablet. And it looks really fucking weird, but do we know what they were really trying to express? It could have been like some diving suit. Maybe they found a way to go in the water to get deep sea fish, or I don't fucking know. But Eric Von Daniken thinks it's a space suit and he's in a spaceship. When it could be some kind of primitive submarine. Yeah, we don't really fucking know. But I was on that shit so hard body. Like, so my evolution of research into conspiracies and the occult starts with um, fundamentally almost everybody tries to go to the Masons first and figure out what that is. Once you realize the Masons is like some really public secret group, like everybody knows a Mason, but you know, like they talk about secret shit. So started researching the Masons to start with, and then that led into like the Rosicrucians and the Order of the Rose, the Brotherhood of the Owl, and all these other fucking different weird ass groups and shit. And then it got into like government conspiracies, and then that shit went into fucking alien conspiracies. And then I started researching like ancient aliens and shit, and then right around that time I was reading fucking David Icke, and then the TV show Ancient Aliens was coming out and shit, and like reading all this weird ass shit, and I kind of believed that shit for a while. I was like, yo, and do I believe UFOs are fake? No. Do I believe they're extraterrestrial? No. So once I started reading like fucking Eric Von Daniken, and I read a bunch of Zachariah Sitchin. Zachariah Sitchin is the guy I read the most, I think, on the Ancient Aliens part of view, because he was like, he swear down he was versed in the Sumerian cuneiform, and he deciphered all of the Sumerian text that talked about the Anunnaki, who were the creator gods. Oh, black aliens, bro. From some black aliens from Alpha Centauri, or Sirius B probably. But Eric Zacharias Sitchin really had me convinced on this ancient alien theory, on this creator God theory, so much so that it made me read the fucking Bible. Cause that shit was like, yo, this shit is crazy. The shit he's saying is crazy. Man, and then he kept quoting the Bible a lot. He's like, yo, if you read the Bible a certain way, you can see that it's even in the Bible. Then I started reading the Bible, and I'm like, I'm still seeing that shit in the Bible. And I'm like, what the fuck, yo, this shit is wild as hell. I'm telling you, go ahead with that Dr. Malachi Z. York shit, yo. And see, once before I asked somebody if they wanted to help me reach level 2 on the Carter shift scale so we can create a Dyson sphere and finally have enough energy so we can figure out if the Fermi paradox is actually wrong or not. But nobody ever wants to do that shit, bro. Nobody. But that's the thing, you can't reconcile extraterrestrials with the Bible, and that's what I figured out after a while too. The more I did studies and reading on the ancient alien hypothesis, and then the more you read these biblical myths and myths from other cultures and everything, it does appear that there was like just a smarter and more intelligent race. That's all. It seems like there was something before and whatever it was collapsed, and the remnants of this lost civilization was able to give birth to the megalithic stone cutters of our current prehistory and civilizations that we are aware of. The oldest one now, I think, is Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. And so these people got this knowledge and understanding from somewhere, because it was a global thing. These pyramidal structures are global. Certain indigenous plants being found in different habitats. There was travel, commerce, communication. There was a local and locally understood and globally understood technology, and that's really what it is. Was it aliens that came down from somewhere? And I don't think so. I think that maybe this has already happened before, and it got so fucked up, like so fucked up that we don't really remember that shit. And it can happen again. We can nuke ourselves the fuck out any given day. And then what? And then you would only have the supreme elite in their little bunkers who would come out after, a couple hundred years, just like fucking Fallout. Play the Fallout video game series. It's such a good scenario. And that's how it would be. Like, in order to rebuild, no one would really remember everything, and we would have to start back over. And then when people would have a brilliant idea, an ingenious idea, and think that it's the first time that this idea has been had, is really not. You're just recreating, or you have rediscovered or reimagined something that's already been there in the past. Bro, you know what I'm saying? This is the thing. Once again, if it's black men and UFOs, then they're still not extraterrestrial, because you're calling them men. So they come from here. Is it, once again, some lost civilization that's been hiding its technology away in Wakanda somewhere for the past fucking 4,000 or 5,000 years? I see no evidence for that. Is it some truly extraterrestrial group of travelers and astronauts that have come here from a distant star system? We really see no evidence of that either, and that's even more outrageous than local UFOs, because being able to traverse the stars, we already know it takes light years, and the closest star is like 4 or 5 light years away or something like that, and then the next star is like some dozen light years away. And if any intelligent race of beings could figure out the complex maneuvers to travel from one star system to another star system, they wouldn't just get here and do nothing, like fucking abduct some people and anal probe them and mutilate cattle and make crop circles and shit like that, bro. If they really traveled here from a completely different star system, then they would be ready to get their main agenda underway. But some of the first real reports of UFOs were maybe a few years before Roswell, and then Roswell, New Mexico was in like the 40s or something, where the concept of little gray men from Mars actually took hold. Like, before that, it's rarely, barely ever mentioned. There's like some few old ass fucking accounts in antiquity of something mysterious flying in the sky, but that shit is, once again, man, nobody, yo, any facts for none of that shit, yo. Christ is coming back in the, man. Isn't that Scientology shit, bro? You a Scientologist? And Christ, I don't think that God had a son. I don't think that we can prove that there is a God. And if there was a God, if there was a Jesus, he was more than likely some motherfucker like a regular dude who's just been hyped up over the fucking centuries. He wasn't the son of Christ. I mean, the Jews claim to be the chosen people, and they don't even believe that Jesus was the son of God. It's like there's so many contradictions. And then if Jesus was a really divine being, then why would there be so many debates throughout the centuries about if he was or not? Why did it take so long for it to actually become canon? And who were the individuals who produced the documents that said, yes, this is canon, and we are going to believe this as Holy Scripture? And if aliens were to come, they would probably more than likely be aggressive. I don't know. Once again, if they are intelligent enough to traverse the stars, I'm pretty sure that, I mean, they should be above aggression. Once again, the Fermi paradox. If you've been able to make it through all these barriers and filters that would negate life, let alone produce intelligent life, let alone allow intelligent life to flourish long enough where they figured out interstellar travel, you would have to overcome so many petty emotions and like aggression or malice. And it's just like, if they, I could imagine that if any extraterrestrials actually made it here, they would have to. It would be only for two different reasons. The two main reasons that anybody or any groups of people choose to explore or move or migrate or anything. One is just exploration. And if you have the ability just to explore, you're pretty well off, because you have to fund a expedition, and if you know that you're going to look for something new, your expedition has to be funded pretty well, and you're doing it just because you can and because you want to. Exploration is the joy of the journey and seeking to find new places. And if they were just explorers, why would they have a hostile agenda if they came across a more primitive group of people? And if they aren't just explorers, just astronauts exploring, they would probably be refugees or someone looking for a new home world or looking for resources, or something that they are missing from home, or somewhere new that they're trying to establish. And once again, if they can traverse the stars, I can imagine that their technology would be so great that it wouldn't be a way for them to be, they wouldn't have to be aggressive towards us either. It's like, yo, we need some stuff from y'all. We'll trade you this technology for some of your resources. Or do you mind if we go set up on Mars because we're going to be pretty close for a while? Or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't see a reason why they would be hostile, but I mean that's what Stephen Hawkins thought too. He was like, "Yeah, we don't honestly. If aliens are out there, we probably don't want to meet them because it, he thinks that, or he thought that, well, if they are so much more intelligent than we are, we would be like ants to them. And do humans really hate ants? Do we like just want to destroy them and wipe them off the face of the earth? No, not really. We don't really have, indifferent feelings towards ants, and unless they're biting us and then we kill them and smash them. Or if we're gonna build a road or a playground and we just plow over ant mounds, like we don't feel bad about that shit. It's just like, yo, you're in the fucking way. And maybe that's how a superiorly intelligent race would look at us as, we don't we don't wish you harm or we don't wish you well, but you're kind of in the way, and if we destroy you because we need something, then we're not going to feel bad about it. This is what kills me about you say, like people say, who makes the sun go up and the moon go up? Like, bro, that's how the universe works. And they're not actually going up or down. Like the sun doesn't actually rise in the morning. You know that, right? You know the sun doesn't actually rise. But I mean, you'll use technology like this to communicate your religious ideas. And when you get sick, you definitely go see your doctor. You know, because you can't pray the flu away. You gotta go get some motherfucking a Z-Pack for that shit and get you some goddamn Robitussin or something to help soothe that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? When you fall and you break your arm, you don't pray. You might be like, God damn, God, oh shit, Jesus, Lord, help me. But that shit ain't gonna mend your arm. You gonna go to the hospital so they can set the bone and put a cast on it. Cause we use science, man. Cause science is what works, bro. We know this. We know that science works, and religion doesn't. Religion just make you feel good, so you don't have to be scared about death. Cause if you live your life and be a good person, like everybody should, we should all just be good people. But if you do that, you can say, man, I'll live forever. I'm going to live forever. I'm going to die a physical death. But then after that, my spirit will go to the real world where God is at. And I'm going to live forever with God. And that is a very pleasing idea. It really is. Can we prove that? No, we cannot. You know? So, but we prove science works, because you sitting here right now telling me about the Bible, and I don't know where you at, or what devices you using. I don't know your name or what you look like, but you're able to do this because we put satellites in space, and we have satellite communications and fiber optics and Wi-Fi and shit like that. And we know all of that shit because it's man-made, just like religion. Hey man, go with science first, bro. The Bible isn't a religious book. The Bible really doesn't talk about religion. You are true. That is pretty much true. The Bible itself really doesn't talk about every once in a while, I think the Bible uses the word religion like a few times, but yeah, it's not really a religious book, but it's used by religious people and organizations as a religious book. The Bible ain't nothing but a bunch of stories, man, and tales, and goddamn allegories, parables, and poems. And goddamn fables and shit. Fable, a short story, typically with animals as characters, conveying a moral tale, a parable. Uh, a fable is a tale using animals, just like when the snake was talking, like Peter Rabbit, like Frog and Toad. You remember those fables? And they got animals in it, and animals be talking to people and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Bible was written, with talking animals. uh. Jesus wasn't black, but apparently he was from the Middle East. I don't think Jesus existed at all. Honestly, if there was some dude named Yosha ben Patera or whatever, like his legend just got blown completely out of proportion. Like fucking Achilles or Agamemnon or any of these motherfuckers who may have existed, but did their name and their legend get blown out of proportion? Abso-fucking-lutely. You know what I'm saying? That's just like motherfuckers still see Elvis. Oh, I saw Elvis. Man, Elvis been dead, yo. You know what I'm saying? Tupac. Motherfuckers sway down, they saw Tupac. For years after this nigga dead, yo. Nah. Tupac moved to Cuba. Man, he got fat. He grew dreads. Man, they wanted Jesus Christ everybody, yo. Anybody who they really, really feel like had a message, they try to Christ the shit out their ass. Maybe this dude just got Christified, and you know what I'm saying? Because when you look at I believe the spirit of unity and science and hand in hand. One describes what you can observe, and other describes what you yet can't be discovered. Jerry's skin was so black it looked like it was burned in the furnace. And he had, bro, here we go with that Revelation pass again, yo. It says his feet were like hot brass out of a furnace. That's glowing red. Listen, really depict the image that it says. His hair was like that of wool, like a sheep, and his feet was like that of bronze in a furnace, and his eyes were red like fire. Really, let's really visualize this shit, bro. I'm gonna paint that. I am going to paint that image of Christ one day. And it's not gonna look like what motherfuckers think any of it look like. It doesn't. This motherfucker look crazy as shit. man, and then why does God sanction slavery? Is that moral? Is that any kind of moral fucking God that was like, yo, I'm gonna put you in slavery for 400 years? Why? Like, what the fuck is that, yo? Huh? How can a just, merciful, and loving God sanction slavery? And slaves be obedient to your masters, whether they be good or harsh. Like, what? Wait a minute. His eyes was, hey man, you know how much wine you gotta drink? So on the day of revelations, he gonna come back drunk as fuck, right? That's why his feet red, cause he fell in the goddamn fire, and his feet was like brass in the furnace. He said cause he drank wine. You know how much wine you gotta drink for your eyes to be red like fire? God damn, boy, they must have had some strong ass wine. I ain't never had no wine like that. I want to try some of that wine. That must be that water to wine shit. Water, wine, drink that. That shit like that moonshine. Like, goddamn, boy, he gonna come back drunk. Everybody, yo, I'm Jesus. What's wrong with you, Jesus? Oh, just had a little bit of wine for the trip. Cause you know I can't like just teleport or nothing, man. I gotta walk. You know, even God had to walk. I was walking on the road to Damascus, and the guy was walking when he went to go see Abraham. Motherfucker just walk everywhere. It'd be some long ass walks, man. So you know you had to have a little sip with him for a minute. Walking, especially when you gotta walk from heaven. Shit. You ever try to walk from heaven, man? That shit in another dimension. Better have something to drink. I got all the words blocked, my nigga. Only I'm the only motherfucker in here who can say all kind of crazy shit, you son of a bitch. So y'all bum ass motherfuckers gotta deal with it, homie. I can't get my message through. Bruh. I done had so many motherfuckers come in and say all kind of just lame, whack shit. Like, you gotta be a moderator. If you was a moderator, you can say whatever you want to say. But in here, I try to keep it mostly educational, a little street, because they still a bunch of slang words that we all know that aren't really truly profane. And so let's keep it, you know, on the up and up for the most part. But this man say I'm trying to say something. I done typed this thing 3 different ways, and man, my message will not go through. All I'm trying to say is kiss my ass, you black son of a bitch, and I can't say it. Like, if you do wrong and your parents punish you, but you God. Huh? If God truly showed himself and spoke to these people and parted a fucking ocean and let them walk on dry land, who would disobey after that? Oh, you know what? That shit That shit happen all the time, man. Fuck that. And the guy said, what? And they got scared. And it's like, but please feed us. I'm so hungry. And then it was manna came down from the sky. And they can just eat whatever the fuck this manna shit was. And it was good. And it was from God. And they still disobeyed again after that. And started worshiping the golden calf and all kind of shit. But they had all this proof and evidence. Man, that shit don't even make no damn sense, bro. At all. It don't. That's why he put us in slavery. You know what? I guess making y'all wander through the wilderness for 40 years wasn't enough. 400 years of slavery. Fuck it. Put them on the boat. You gonna learn now, nigga. Why? It don't make sense. You can try to justify this thing any way you want to, homie. You're not gonna win, because logically it's stupid. You got a stupid ass God. And all of this is for what? Oh, it's a part of his plan. For what? Suffering, pain, oh, you'll get your rewards in the afterlife. You're gonna be a slave your entire life. You're gonna get raped and beaten. You're gonna be separated from your family and your true God. And when you die, Black Jesus in a spaceship go bring you back to heaven. That's what all your suffering was for. You know, everybody got a struggle, man. The struggle real. The struggle is real. And he say Jesus flying around right now in the spaceships, man. Got his angels right now. You know, because God got to have angels in the army, because he's God. He can do anything he wants because he's God. But he got angels flying around in spaceships. Okay. All right. God can do anything he want, but he don't. He get everybody else to do that shit for him. Oh, man. If the Parliament fucking Delic gonna land that mothership, we all getting in and go for a ride. Damn right. I'm riding on that shit. Me and George Clinton, that's the only mothership I'm riding on. This motherfucker say he a Scientologist. You know, like, you got the Nation of Islam. You be like the Muslims, and they be like, we the black Muslims. And he got Scientology, and this dude right here, he got black Scientology. Scientology goes black. Man, them angels with afros, them black angels with afros flying around in them UFOs. So what? So you don't believe in UFOs? It's in the Bible. Jesus, man, Jesus and his homies in the UFOs right now making crop circles in New Zealand. They dropping sacred math, man. Know what I'm saying? Now we gonna get into your heart chakra and your sign, what your astrology sign is, and all this stuff too, right? You know what I'm saying? Get into some crystals and some Reiki healing, and hey, we get in. Hey, man, once you say we got black angels and the black angels flying around in UFOs, we can get into everything now. Witches, motherfucking Loch Ness monsters and shit. Hell. It tell you in the Bible. Bruh. You know how long people have been mocking the Lord? You know people die, old ass atheists, 98 years old, never believe in God their whole life, and just die a happy old death after they saw all their kids and their grandkids and their great grandkids grow up and have beautiful lives and create beautiful families of their own, and they just die in peace in a nice old age, never believing in God. Our Jesus, our black angels, and UFOs. Uh, right. So does a butterfly have a heart? That shit's still alive. Life is life, man. Just because you don't know how your mind and your consciousness controls your sack of meat and moves that shit around, that don't mean, once again, you can't get all the way back to God from that shit. What making your heart beat? Motherfuckers, because that's what hearts do. Just like your pancreas secretes pancreatic fluid. That's what it does. What you think making your hair follicles grow hair right now? Huh? I am no way, shape, or form Muslim. Just to be clear. This guy. Woo! I wonder why I couldn't breathe. No, it don't, because the Lord offers forgiveness to anybody who truly believes. And on that day, if I actually meet God or Jesus, I'd be like, yo, I finally believe in you. Too bad you fuckers didn't give me enough evidence to believe in you when I was alive. Motherfucker, you died 2,000 years ago and stayed away all through slavery. Oh, because that was a part of your dad's plan. if you read the Bible, oh hell, man, it says you can't get into heaven for this, but you can get into heaven for this, and you can't get into heaven for this, but if you do this, then you can get into heaven. Man, that shit, so many different ways to get in or get kicked out of heaven, man. It's so ridiculous, bro. If you read the whole Bible, man, trust me, you won't believe that shit no more. And if you read the whole Bible and you still believe that shit, then you kind of crazy. Cause you gotta prove to me that a man can stay alive inside of a fish for 7 days and then come out to tell motherfucking story about that shit, bro. Prove me that shit. You gotta prove to me that a donkey can talk, that a snake can talk. You gotta prove to me that angels are real and miracles are real. You gotta prove all that shit. You gotta prove that Jesus was resurrected from the dead and that he was in fact the Son of God. Then you gotta prove that God is real. Then you gotta prove that God gave all these messages to some fucking desert dwelling sheep herders 2,000 years ago in a language that has died out so long ago that we barely got any of the story left now. And why would you do that? Why would you write it in a language that dies out? You got too much shit to prove, man. You know what? And until there is sufficient evidence for any of that shit, then I can't believe it. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm not gonna believe in extraterrestrial UFOs. Now, do I believe that there's some secret military black ops shit that most people don't know about? Hell yeah. I really think like some Area 51 shit. Bro, you don't know what the fuck these motherfuckers got. And they send out some of their little test planes or whatever. And people see these shits and it is what it is. It's a flying object that's unidentified. A UFO. So yeah, I do believe in UFOs. I think that fucking we motherfuckers catch sight of some shit. Even fucking commercial pilots and all, military pilots and all kind of motherfuckers see shit. Don't know what the fuck that shit be. Ten Commandments, they found it was written in stone. Like, who can't write 10 Commandments in stone, bro? And what language was it written in? English? It was written in English. These 10 Commandments. And then what happened to all the commandments before? You know, because there was 15 commandments to start with, but then, you know, Moses saw his congregation worshiping bull, and he smashed them. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. What is y'all doing? I just got these 15 commandments from God. But now, you know, he went back and got some more, and God was like, look, I already wrote that shit the first time. I'm not writing the whole list over again. I'm just going to write the first 10, and y'all can go with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And now, we found another 10 commandments. Really? Another 10 commandments written in stone? That's impressive. That's really impressive. Like a bush that continues to burn without burning up. Like a burning bush that talks. A talking burning bush. Ten Commandments. What about the 10 Commandments? Who needs the 10 Commandments? Yo, didn't Cain get in trouble for killing his brother? That was before the 10 Commandments. Oh, where are you? The ground cries out with your brother's blood. What have you done? Man, I killed that nigga. You accept his offering and not accept my offering, man. Fuck that shit. Bash that nigga head in. Oh, you must go from here. You go from this land. But damn, if you send me away, then them other people are gonna kill me because I killed my brother. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna let them other people kill you just because you are a murderer. I will put a mark on you, and I will let everyone know if they lay a hand on you, then I will kill them. Alright, cool. I can go out now. That was before the Ten Commandments. Moses fled from Egypt. Why? Because he killed the motherfucker by accident. And he killed somebody by accident, and he fled. He ran away from the crime scene because murder was wrong. Before the Ten Commandments that says, thou shalt not kill. I don't know. You know who Cain is today? Who is Cain today, man? The wrestler? Because Cain died in the Bible. But somebody is Cain today, right? All a descendant of Cain, like Tubal Cain, and Cain is the white man God cursed in leprosy, and that's why they are pale. I want to block you so bad, but your comments are so funny. It's just like I really do want to keep seeing what you're gonna say. Cause that last comment, like, so stupid. It was so dumb. So dumb that just God cursing with leprosy. That's why they're all pale. Wow. Really? You know who Cain is today? White people. Wow. So you're just gonna exclude long ass chunks of history where black people were in charge and black people were the wealthiest and had the largest militaries and controlled the largest areas of land. Then how was Cain beating us in the head then? And this is pre and post Bible age, where black civilizations have been dominant throughout the course of history. Your logic just doesn't flow well, bro. We're the true Asiatic, Hebrew, Israelite. Man, whatever, dude. Whatever. You don't even speak Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, man. Black people love, I mean, black people love the damn Bible so much, bro. I don't get it. You know why? Because you're not really there in the Bible. You know? The black man really isn't there, so you try to make it out to be like this story talks about me. Talks about my clan. I'm one of the 12 tribes. Like, man, all of that shit's fucking made up, dude. You want to be a part of somebody else's fairy tale, somebody else's mythos. You know what I'm saying? Niggas hate everything about slavery except Christianity. We like that part. White Jesus, cool. White Jesus can stay. Everything else, you slave masters, you raping us and giving me your last names. I don't want that. But your religion, I'll keep the religion though. That's the Jesus part. I like Jesus, man. Jesus, he's our savior, you know. Jesus is okay with me. I like that part about slavery. That's all it is. You know why? Because these... Did my speaker just turn off? You son of a bitch. Because these other ethnic groups have not been subjected to the white man's slavery. That's the thing, see. It's still more psychological than anything else. And it's psychological on both ends, especially with the subconscious white pathology of post-slavery America that basically goes like, we have to maintain a power dynamic above the African Americans, because if they ever control the majority of the power, they may one day do to us what we have done to them. That is a true and major fear in this country. And so that's why the black man is still beaten and killed and kept in a mental paradigm of subjugation, so that we don't ever get too cocky enough. And that's why there's been mass extermination programs against us and different things like that, just because, like, they don't know what else to do with us now. We're used up. We're useless goods. We're damaged products. It's like, fuck. Gotta keep these niggas docile, because if they ever try to do something, yo, I'm not being their fucking slaves. I'll kill them first. I'll kill all of them first. I know. But if black people were as malicious and violent as white people make us out to be, then that shit would have been happened already. Blacks are so criminalized. Like, really? You don't say, good sir. Why the cops keep killing us and beating us? It's a social dynamic, bro. It has nothing to do with religion. It's a social dynamic. It's a power structure. It's a historical power structure. that's very uneasy to talk about today. Um, Not so much so because metallurgy and smelting of iron and shit, that shit came out of Africa. So in a way, Africa was had the origins of a lot of technology that were carried out and dispersed and then built upon in different parts of the world. But a lot of the great original ideas did come from Africa, and um, even even the Moors moved all the way up as far as north to Italy and built uh, castles and mosques and all kind of beautiful architecture that predated anything that the Europeans were doing at that time, and actually inspired most European architecture from then on out. Actually taught a lot of Europeans how to read, write, make soap, and bathe. And one of the biggest things was hygiene. And we know this from the plague era and a lot of other devastating periods in the evolution of European cultures, is that their sanitation was very, very, very low. And this would cause a lot of disease and illnesses. And then when they went to actually colonize other parts of the world, they would bring these diseases and these sicknesses with them, whereas other people were more civilized in the way of being sanitary and clean. Mathematics and a lot of other great things that are the foundation of technology. You can't really build and construct shit without numbers. Like I say, all of the foundations of any major form of technology is essentially African. It's just that I don't know, that the African mindset it was more peaceful, a more spiritual mindset. And that's the greatest, the musket. European invention is the gun, and that's it. And after he invented the gun, he could steal whatever technology or art or secrets or minerals or resources from anywhere in the world. And that's what has set the European aside from everyone else, is that like he actually used tremendous violence to get his way. And after, and we know that the Asians came up with gunpowder. And so after Europeans got hold of gunpowder and figured out how to, smelt metal real good, made this gun device, and it was a wrap from there, yo. It was over. Guns, Germs, and Steel. Have you guys ever watched that documentary? I'm telling you, yo. But then at the same time, like, the colonizers had to colonize because there aren't very rich resources in their native lands. But when everybody comes to Africa, they realize like everything is here. Africa is the jewel of the world, and everybody wants a piece of it. So in 1885, they set up the Berlin Conference of how the European countries would actually divide up Africa amongst themselves, because everybody wanted a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? King Ferdinand killed what? Millions of motherfuckers in the Congo. I'm a created God. Make my own God one day. Damn, near 2020. Motherfuckers still believe in this Jesus, bro. Ain't that the truth? Wait a minute now. See, this how you be confusing yourself, Cherokee. Now, you just said they came from the caves, the Caucasus Mountains, and that's why they call themselves Caucasian. So, did they come from the caves, and their environment is what depigmented their skin, or was it God placing leprosy on them? And then if you even remotely believe in a caveman, then you can't believe in the fucking Bible. So don't keep coming here with all this bullshit contradicting your damn self. I'm happy I went back to read your little corny ass comments. You can't believe in the Bible and in caveman. Because apparently there was no caveman. Because God created Adam and Eve in a garden. A beautiful garden, warm, tropical garden where they didn't need any clothes. Kind of like Africans who live on the savannah who don't need clothes because it's warm. And they don't need a lot of weapons to kill animals because their diet mostly consists of plant matter. But caveman came after what? Bro, the Bible says the earth is only 6,000 years old. Where is there time for caveman? It's 6,000 years. Uh-huh. Huh? Oh, right. Read the Bible. Chris, he don't know. But it's good that you're in here to help me educate people. This is what this is. This is art and education. We're trying to help this young man get a little bit of education. You know what I'm saying? He says caveman came after Adam and Eve. But then you want me to believe that God made Adam and Eve, He sent their son away to the land of the refugees, whoever the fuck all these other people were. And then these motherfuckers start fucking the aliens, the angels, and God wipe out the whole goddamn planet except for one family. And then the one family repopulates the earth so fast that in just a few generations there's enough people to build a tower of Babel to the gods, and then God smashed that shit and scattered their ass across the face of the earth, confused their language, and then he comes to one little part of the Middle East and tells all these people these stories to write down. And we skipped the whole caveman shit. Well, I don't see where there's enough. Did we even have enough time for the pyramid buildings? How can they never mention the pyramids in the Bible? Because they all over Egypt and the pharaohs and this and that. But they don't never say nothing about the beautiful, gigantic pyramids. Where? How come so much stuff is left out? There isn't enough time for caveman in the Bible, you know? White folks are hybrids. The white folks is a hybrid. Of what? Neanderthal? That's the only thing they really got in them that's different from us is they have Neanderthal DNA. Went from 16 to 30. Yo, that's when he went on his pilgrimage to the New World and started the Jehovah Witnesses. That's what they say. That's where they story come from. He said, oh, when Jesus wasn't in the middle. How the fuck he get all the way over here? To preach to the Indians. This shit confuses the fuck out of me. Aliens are humans from the future. I seen that one clip too, with the Area 51 guy sitting down talking with the alien, and the aliens. He was like, "So, why are you here? What's your purpose here?" And the alien says, "We are you." He's like, "What do you mean? We're you from the future. We've just evolved and we've changed, and this is the form that we have now." Which is pretty weird because a lot of this stuff, a lot of these stories came out before we really understood the trajectory of this fourth industrial revolution, and we really do see where our technology is going. So it's, if someone says, oh, aliens are humans from the future, I don't know, because our cybernetics and biomechanical engineering is really starting to ramp up, and humans in the future, we're not just going to be like some meat bags with bigger brains and like bug eyes or some shit. We're not going to be like that. We're more than likely are going to be more robot, more android like than not, in order to survive conditions or atmospheric pressures that, you know, an organic body would not be susceptible to. So you can make middle legs and middle arms, and all you really need is your fucking brain. So if you can build a fucking machine, a bipedal humanoid type machine that it's, you know, solid titanium or whatever, and put your brain in it or download your brain into it, then you could effectively live forever and not be, once again, susceptible to different conditions, even hunger or pain, heat and cold. And so yeah, so now, what, like I say, we can kind of see where we're going with our technology, and so to assume that, oh, aliens are humans from the future, like in the future we're not gonna, we probably won't even have a meat type body, like we're not gonna be like fleshy type beings anymore. We're definitely gonna shed this body in the next couple 100 years. She slept, so what? Trust that. Yeah, yeah, partly, but then Yo, my computer has the weakest battery on that bitch, yo.
With AI is the one that seems like probably that it's likely that we will merge somehow or another with this sort of technology and it'll augment what we are now, or do you think it will replace us? Well, that's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like for us, yes. Like if you can't beat it, join it. That's yeah. You know. So from a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neuralink is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth problem. You just can't communicate through because it's too slow. And where's Neuralink at right now? I think we'll have something interesting to announce in a few months. That's at least an order of magnitude better than anything else. Probably, I think better than probably anyone thinks is possible. How much can you talk about that right now? I don't want to jump the gun on that. But what's like the ultimate? What's the idea behind it? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with it? Like, what would you like? Best case scenario. I think best case scenario we effectively merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer, where we've got the limbic system, kind of the primitive brain essentially. You've got the cortex. So you're currently in a symbiotic relationship. Your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally people like their cortex and they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex. Everybody seems to like both. And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system.
Do you notice?
They think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy. That's what most of that computing power is oriented towards. How can I make the limbic system happy? That's what it's trying to do. Now, if we do have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic. And there's enough bandwidth between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself such that the AI doesn't de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. That could be quite a positive outcome for the future. So instead of replacing us, it will radically change our capabilities. Yes, it will enable anyone who wants to have superhuman cognition. Anyone who wants. This is not a matter of earning power, because your earning power would be vastly greater after you do it. So it's just like anyone who wants can just do it. In theory. That's the theory. And if that's the case, then, and let's say billions of people do it, then the outcome for humanity will be the sum of human will. The sum of billions of people's desire for the future. Billions of people with enhanced cognitive ability. Radically enhanced. Yes. And which would be how much different than people today? Like if you had to explain it to a person who didn't really understand what you were saying, how much different are you talking about? When you say radically improve, like what do you mean? You mean mind reading? It would be difficult to really appreciate the difference.
So the technology, and it'll augment what we are now.
It's kind of like, how much smarter are you?
I think best case scenario, we effectively merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer, where we've got the limbic system, kind of the primitive brain essentially. We've got the cortex. So you're currently in a symbiotic relationship. With your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally people like their cortex and they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex. Everybody seems to like both. And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system. People may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy. That's what most of that computing power is oriented towards. How can I make the limbic system happy? That's what it's trying to do. Now, if we do have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic. And there's enough bandwidth between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself such that the AI doesn't de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. That could be quite a positive outcome for the future.
So instead of replacing us, it will radically change our capabilities.
Yes, it will enable anyone who wants to have superhuman cognition. Anyone who wants. This is not a matter of earning power, because your earning power would be vastly greater after you do it. So it's just like anyone who wants can just do it. In theory. That's the theory. And if that's the case, then, and let's say billions of people do it, then the outcome for humanity will be the sum of human will, the sum of billions of people's desire for the future. And
but that billions of people with enhanced cognitive ability, radically enhanced.
Yes.
And which would be how much different than people today? Like if you had to explain it to a person who didn't really understand what you were saying, how much different are you talking about? When you say radically improved, like what do you mean? You mean mind reading?
It would be difficult to really appreciate the difference. It's kind of like, how much smarter are you with a phone or computer than without? You're vastly smarter, actually. You can answer any question. If you connect to the internet, you can answer any question pretty much instantly. Any calculation, your phone's memory is essentially perfect. You can remember flawlessly. Your phone can remember videos, pictures, everything perfectly. Your phone is already an extension of you. You're already a cyborg. Most people don't realize they are already a cyborg. If that phone is an extension of yourself, it's just that the data rate, the rate at which, or the communication rate between you and the cybernetic extension of yourself, that is your phone and computer, is slow. It's very slow. And that is like a tiny straw of information flow between your biological self and your digital self. And we need to make that tiny straw like a giant river, a huge, high bandwidth interface. It's an interface problem, data rate problem. Solve the data rate problem, then I think we can hang on to human-machine symbiosis through the long term. And then people may decide that they want to retain their biological self or not. I think they'll probably choose to retain their biological self.
Versus some sort of Ray Kurzweil scenario where they download themselves into a computer?
You will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you could probably just upload into a new unit. Literally.
Pass that whiskey. We're getting crazy over here. This is getting ridiculous.
Down the rabbit hole.
Grab that sucker. Give me some of that. This is too freaky. See, if I was
I've been thinking about this for a long time, by the way.
I believe you have. If I was talking to one of my... Cheers, by the way.
Sure.
Give me some of that. This is too freaky. Pass that whiskey. We're getting Kurzweil scenario where they download themselves into a computer.
You will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you could probably just upload into a new unit. Literally.
Pass that whiskey.
Yeah. That's the thing though, like you said, yo. It's like you're earning if your cognitive ability is increased to a superhuman level, then your potential earning power will skyrocket. And you could do anything, any type of career that you wanted to do. And so who wouldn't get on a payment plan for that shit? That's my first thought is like, yeah, can everybody afford a fucking Lamborghini or Maserati cash money? No. Can most people like get on some kind of payment plan for it? Hell yeah. If that shit gonna make me a super genius, yo, sign me up. How much you want for this shit? $175 a week for the next 20. Man, I'm gonna be like limitless. I'm gonna come up with some super genius idea, and then I'll pay this shit off next week, son. But I don't know. That's the whole thing. Is like the scary part is who has control of the technology first. That's where we're at right now with a artificial general intelligence, and why there is a race to create this thing is because whoever creates it first is going to have a leg up. If you have a superhuman AI, you can use it for whatever you want. Especially for military purposes. So, and it's the same thing with if you're able to connect your brain to the internet or have a artificial intelligence overlay to your brain that is proven to work with no adverse side effects or anything. Like, who wouldn't want that? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has a phone. Everybody, like I said, we're all basically cyborgs because we use our phone as our backup brain. It is our storage. It does hold our memories perfectly. If you really, really, really want to remember something, motherfuckers don't hesitate to pull out their phone and record that shit or take a picture. Because the phone's memory is better than our memory. It can hold thousands of perfect images and perfect video footage that we can't do. It can do calculations and computations that would take us extremely longer to do. And so that's why since the phone has been widely integrated into our society, and how long did that take? How long did this technology go from being super uber expensive where only the richest of the rich can have a cell phone to everybody has like two cell phones and like two cell phones that they don't even use because one of them is broken and one is just in the drawer, and the other one it kind of works and you just let your kid use it to play games on or something. Like, cell phones are like, they're everywhere now. And so that's just how technology is, and it didn't take that long for the technology to be cheap enough that they're actually we have more cell phones than we need sometimes. But whoever controls it first, obviously will have some type of leg up. But like I say, making it available in such a way that anybody can have access to it initially. And that's the whole thing, yeah. Like, if you ever, there was this musical back in the day called Repo Man, where it's the future and science has gotten good enough where they can grow or make any kind of body part you want, man. If you have a bad heart, you keep having heart attacks, you can get a brand new heart. It's not from a person or anything. You just grow it and make you a heart. Or you broke your back or whatever, they can give you a new spine and everything. And but if you get it on a payment plan and you don't make your payments, they send out a repo man to come take their property back, whether it be your arm or your eyes or your kidneys or whatever. You got to give back up the property because you really don't own it. So yeah, contracts and signing up for something like that, especially a piece of hardware that's essentially going to be attached to your brain, I would definitely take the time and read over the fine print, maybe even get me some legal aid and an accountant to go over that shit with me. Like, yeah, nigga, is it worth the risk? Because if we have a depression and I lose my job and I can't afford to make payments on my brain augmentation, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't let them take my brain back. But then think about it now. Like, just imagine if, and it wouldn't be terribly difficult, and I can imagine it after a while you would absolutely get used to it. But and you have to keep yourself immersed amongst people all the time doing this experiment, but you just give up a phone for a month. But you have to be around everyone else who has their phone, and you can't touch nobody else's phone, you can't use nobody else's cell phone or anything. But you can't like be on like some deserted island where it's just you and coconuts and parakeets and shit. You still have to be around everybody else and see them using their phones and motherfucking making calls and taking selfies, but you can't do that shit. That's how it'll feel when everybody's augmented and you're not. It's like, fuck, I might need to get my brain enhanced. That shit make life so much easier. They just pay all their bills online through their phone. With brain enhancement, I can just think about that shit like, just pay the water bill. Shit's crazy, son. Shit's crazy. The singularity. Ray Kurzweil has been talking about this singularity for fucking decades. And like, we're right at the front line of this shit. Now Elon Musk is talking about Neuralink and Neuralace and making a matrix so you can connect your brain to artificial intelligence and have super cognitive abilities. And like, all this shit is right around the corner. And then you look at what Boston Dynamics is doing with robotics and their bipedal robot Atlas, and you look at what Google is doing with their AI and artificial intelligence manipulating in their Google search, and you add all these different technologies together, you roll it into a ball, and you roll that shit into the future like 200-300 years, and watch how that shit snowball and get bigger as the decades go on. And like, we're not gonna escape this shit. Like I say, if aliens are humans from the future, they're not gonna be meat bags. They're gonna be mostly biomechanical, engineered beings that have a very, very extended lifetime. I'm talking motherfuckers gonna be living 500 years, at least 200 years at the minimum, yo. They're trying to push that shit now with some of the same different research projects that's been going on for the past 30 years. The human genome, the cloning projects, the stem cell research, the CRISPR-Cas9, like all of these things, they're decompartmentalized, but when you put all of them together, it's life extension. And that's all it is. They're trying to figure out a way to increase the longevity of the natural physical body, and then the next phase is to add nanotechnology and other biomechanical systems and implants until we can get the fucking the snapshot of a brain and of the thoughts and the personality of an individual so perfected that we can just, like Elon Musk said, just download yourself into a new unit, whatever that unit may be. There's this one really good series that was on Netflix. It was called Altered Carbon. Do robots dream about electric sheep? If people don't know, that's the original title for Blade Runner. The movie Blade Runner featuring Harrison Ford, the original movie, was based off of a book, that was the title, Do Robots Dream About Electric Sheep. Pretty cool, Chris. You're my kind of guys, fucking weird ass science fiction, fucking nerdy ass mofos. You probably wear glasses too, don't it? Huh? Don't lie to me. This motherfucker wear glasses, nerd ass. Look, this is my brother. This is your stream, homie. I make this shit for motherfuckers like us, so we don't feel awkward about our weirdness. Yeah, I know you do. Don't play with me. I know this motherfucker wear glasses too. Yeah, that CRISPR-Cas9, that shit is crazy, and that's something else too. The hacking shit. But yo, if you ever watch fucking Ghost in the Shell, yo, the greatest animated movie, manga, and TV series ever produced, yo, that's my shit, son. Except for the American adaptation, no, that's not canon. I don't own a copy of that. I absolutely reject that movie. I watched it once. I might watch it again one day just to critique it more and shit on it a little bit more, but the first time was enough. I was ugh. But anyway, Ghost in the Shell, this is the world we're talking about. This is the world that they live in, where you can be a full cyborg or like a full robot, or goddamn just have augmented body parts, or it's weird in how they describe their internet and how it works, where it is connected to your brain, and you go inside yourself, and then you're in this internet, this like a place. It's weird. It's really weird, but I think it's the best visual representation of some of the technologies that are around the corner, or some ways that our technology may develop and adapt into the near future. And the Ghost in the Shell is a really old movie. It was like early 90s. It came out before The Matrix. It actually had a lot of influence on the Matrix movie. And The Matrix was in, 99 or something like that. I think Ghost in the Shell, the movie, came out in like 95 or 96. But, I would probably... I have robot eyes, yo. Fuck that shit, yo. I mean, I got poor eyesight already, and fuck having contacts just to, get average, like standard average vision, I would definitely like enhance my vision, yo. That's one thing I would probably do. I would definitely have like some crazy optical and fucking lenses in my shit where I can see everything, every spectrum of color, fucking heat, have fucking thermal vision, night vision. Who wouldn't want that? You can just, it's dark, like, psh, bitch, I can still see in the dark. Pitch black, I don't care, I can see. Psh, thermal vision, I can see through the wall, bitch. I see you over there with your hot ass. You know what I'm saying? Zoom in, like, anything. I would definitely, Lou, what it do? But yeah, some kind of optical enhancers, some robot eyes, give up the legs. I'm going all the way, dog. I'm going all the way. I want robot lungs, so, cause I like going diving, but I don't want to have to wear no motherfucking scuba tank no more. Just go down there, cause my lungs work like that. I can filter oxygen through the water. I can breathe water, man, with these robot lungs. You don't know? My legs, I'm the best rock climber. I got robot legs, hands. Bitch, I crush rocks like nothing with my robot hands. Motherfuckers say everything. There's this one guy, I listened to his TED Talk. He's an engineer from MIT, and I think he was a professional rock climber. He fell and lost his legs, yo, and had to have both of his legs amputated. But he's an engineer at MIT. So he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna design my own fucking legs. He's like, yo, my legs are better than your legs. He's like, these legs are so good. I can do anything with these legs. And they're versatile. And I can swap out parts depending on what I need them specified for. Lou, that would be some crazy shit, right? To get some new legs. Lieutenant Dan, you got new legs. Yeah, that guy is fucking cool, yo. Is it lunchtime yet? Woo, it's past lunchtime. I gotta, I gotta grab something to eat real quick. Alright. So, working on these panel drawings, I got 2 more. Let's see. I wanna do something with that. I might do 2 more drawings. Aw, man. Ignore that motherfucker, yo. I'm trying not to block him. I'm trying to be in a good mood today and not block people for their dumbass comments. But he just wanted attention, and now he got the attention because you said something to him, and now I'm talking about him. So, see, that's all he wanted, really. You got to make him wait a little bit longer sometimes before you acknowledge their existence. Because then their ego just swell out of control, then they start throwing out more random and dumbass comments. He'll be alright, though. He'll be alright. Ain't that right, Armstrong? Fastest man on 3 wheels? What? Never seen motherfuckers this fast. Yeah, but Wonder Woman isn't my idea. It's a very old idea. And there's been hundreds of thousands of paintings and drawings and actresses who have been Wonder Woman. I like to be original. I know it's so hard for some people to even imagine. It's like, what? You only want to make your own stuff? You don't want to copy anybody else's stuff at all? You don't want to paint Wonder Woman? Or Batman? No. No. Doom movie? Never saw that. Or a black Wonder Woman? That's like saying you should paint Jesus, but a black Jesus. Nah, I'm good. That's like you should paint Tupac, but a white Tupac. Like, nah, I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures of black Wonder Woman before. Yeah. Come on, man. We gotta think more originality. You know, something new, something fresh, something that we haven't seen before, like Black Wonder Woman. Oh, damn. You're almost creative. Almost. You know? We can work. Hey, this is art and education. We all can learn from each other. I learn a lot from you guys all the time. I try to share as much knowledge and information as I possibly can. And I always try to be open and honest when I see people who aren't creative like you. But you're almost creative. That was a good idea. Only thing is, somebody else has already had that idea over and over and over and over. So let's do some new. Let's try to do some new original ideas. Let's paint some people that nobody has seen before, like, you know, like me and my friends and my homies and my cousins, and, you know, nobody's ever seen any of these people. Hey, have you ever been painted before? No, I haven't. You haven't? Then you should let me paint you. Why do you want to paint me? Because you have never been painted before. Unlike Black Wonder Woman. I don't know. Never thought about, Playboy centerfolds, and if there has ever been a black lady. I don't know.
And that the physiology of it, if you will, but it had to come from somewhere, and that is the leap of faith that you guys make, that it just happened.
Well, a leap of faith, you don't actually need a leap of faith. You're the one who needs a leap of faith, because the onus is on you to say why you believe in something. There's an infinite number of gods you could believe in. I take it you don't believe in Zeus or Apollo or Thor. You believe in, presumably, the Christian God, Jesus.
See, Jesus was a real guy. I could see him.
Yeah.
You know, I know what he did. And so I'm not positive that Jesus is God, but I'm throwing in with Jesus rather than throwing in with you guys, because you guys can't tell me how it all got here. You guys don't know.
We're working on it. Physicists are working.
When you get it, then maybe I'll listen.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, if you look at the history of science over the centuries, the amount that's gained in knowledge each century is stupendous. In the beginning of the 21st century, we don't know everything. We have to be humble. We have to, in humility, say that there's a lot that we still don't know.
And, you know, being humble is a Christian virtue.
Now, I am absolutely convinced that the main source of hatred in the world is religion, and organized religion. Absolutely convinced of it. And I think it should be religion treated with ridicule and hatred and contempt. And I claim that right.
hell. Satan will enjoy torture. Rebel. I dwells among as every day. You are the spawn of I hope in hell, you damn blasphemy.
What about the most important minority in the history? Believe that an ethical life is possible without religion. We have to be insulted and outraged every day by what we see and what we read. By slaughter and murder. Slaughter and murder and barbarism and insult and superstitious nonsense. We do not reply in kind. We don't say, we'll go and kill you if you go on insulting us like this. Do we get no credit for saying this? When has anyone ever said, what's it like to be insulted as someone who... Why is it always interdenominational? Why can't we say that all of these cults are equal and equivalent glimpses of the untrue?
This is probably going to be the most simplest one for you to answer, but what if you're wrong?
Well, what if I'm wrong? I mean, anybody could be wrong. We could all be wrong about the flying spaghetti monster and the pink unicorn and the flying teapot. You happen to have been brought up, I would presume, in the Christian faith. You know what it's like not to believe in a particular faith because you're not a Muslim, you're not a Hindu. Why aren't you a Hindu? Because you happen to have been brought up in America, not in India. If you'd been brought up in India, you'd be a Hindu. If you were brought up in Denmark in the time of the Vikings, you'd be believing in Wotan and Thor. If you were brought up in classical Greece, you'd be believing in Zeus. If you were brought up in Central Africa, you'd be believing in the great Juju up the mountain. I mean, there's no particular reason to pick on the Judeo-Christian God in which, by the sheerest accident, you happen to have been brought up and ask me the question, what if I'm wrong? What if you're wrong about the great Juju at the bottom of the sea?
Until 1979, you couldn't be black and be a deacon or an elder of the Mormon Church. You're an elder. You certainly couldn't be an elder. You couldn't play any role in it at all. It was an officially racist organization. Senator Byrds had to answer questions about that. He was a Klansman in his youth. Mitt Romney was a grown man in 1979. He should be asked, what was it like being a member of an officially racist organization? In what way are you glad that's changed, if you are glad? Stop saying that we're not allowed to ask these questions and it's un-American to us. The Mormons had to be told they were un-American, where they practiced polygamy and weren't allowed to have Utah as a state of the union until they changed on that. It's blowing smoke to have told us that he thinks the Garden of Eden used to be in Missouri and will be again after Jesus of Nazareth returns and splits the Mount of Olives in two. Well, I mean, I think that's a crackpot belief. It doesn't have any dangerous implication. The critical thing is the Mormon Church was an officially racist organization while he was an adult. That's very important.
You suggested that Mormons are, the toss-up is whether, yes. I mean, the Mormon religion is so obviously fake, founded by a transparent charlatan in the 19th century, Joseph Smith. I mean, nothing could be more obvious than that that man was a fake and a charlatan and a liar. And yet now we have a presidential candidate who is prepared to say that he believes in this mountebank, who wrote a bogus book, the Book of Mormon, although he was writing in the 19th century, chose to write it in 17th century English. I mean, why don't people see through that? I just can't understand it. But anyway, that was a digression. Great.
Say, look, do yourself and your faith the honor of saying it's faith.
That's true. Should just change it, bro. More and more people, because we're in an information age. You know, the Bible was written at a time where the average person was fucking illiterate. And for most of the existence of the Bible, most people were illiterate in every language it has been transferred to, transcribed into, or translated into. Most people have been illiterate for a long fucking time. Now that most of the world can fucking read, and we can read other histories and share information with each other almost instantaneously, everybody can see a larger perspective of the world and of our history and how our religions have come into existence. And once you just study for a few months, it doesn't take like years and years and years of deep intellectual scholarship at the finest universities to understand, like, religions are man-made. Like, we made all this shit up. It's not that fucking hard. Like, yo, stop fucking playing with me. You made that shit up. Zeus, Hercules, Odin, Poseidon, Jesus, God, all that shit is just stories made up by people trying to explain to themselves how the world works. Where did they come from? How do they fit in? And people still say the Earth is 5,000-6,000 years old. They try to push it to like 9 or 10,000 years. But it's the young Earth creationists. Exactly, yeah. It's 10,000 years. Like, no, it used to say the Earth was 6,000 years old. Well, listen. What we meant was, look. We're in the New Testament now. We have a new covenant. We don't need the Old Testament anymore and all of that barbaric smiting and slaving that the old guy did. He did give us the 10 Commandments in the Old Testament, but Jesus, death, resurrection, happy times. Crown Boys. Why won't you just fucking click? Oh, definitely.
Our conversation is with Mr. Yuri Alexandrovich Bezmenov. Mr. Bezmenov was born in 1939 in a suburb of Moscow. He was the son of a high-ranking Soviet Army officer. He was educated in the elite schools inside the Soviet Union and became an expert in Indian culture and Indian languages. He had an outstanding career with Novosti, which was and still is, I should say, the press arm or the press agency of the Soviet Union. It turns out that this is also a front for the KGB. He escaped to the West in 1970 after becoming totally disgusted with the Soviet system, and he did this at great risk to his life. He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on the subject of Soviet propaganda and disinformation and active measures. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American...
Frank, man, that sweet ass shit, man. That shit sweet. That's just, Frank's just flavor. You know what I take over Frank's? I take Texas Pete. It's Tabasco sauce, Texas Pete, Frank's, then Louisiana. It's tasty. That's all Frank says. That shit tastes good. It's tastier. Yeah, it's sweet. That shit ain't got no heat to it. The extra hots. I might.
It has to do is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see it. There is no mystery. There is
should make my
nothing
lips
to do
go
with
numb.
espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow and is divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of process, which goes very slow and is divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students
Goddamn salmon and rice
of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years. Actually, it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards.
Thanks for chilling in the stream with me, Chris.
Exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So the next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption, whether you eat junk food and get fat and flat, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation, what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet
took some chicken out
propaganda
just now.
when the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia.
When I went to go heat my food up, I had some chicken breasts in the freezer. About to let them shit thaw out tonight and have some baked chicken and potato salad. I can't wait for that shit. Baked chicken and potato salad. Boy, that itis don't take no time. Damn. Just give me a minute real quick. Everybody getting hungry. Yo, it's that time. That's why it's after lunch. It was like 1:30 when I looked at the clock. Like, nigga, I'm hungry. Y'all just smashed that plate of food. Woo, boy, I feel so much better now. I feel like playing video games. But y'all motherfuckers don't keep me company when I play video games, man. I be in here running my mouth. Everybody want to sit in here and run their mouth with me. But as soon as I go play video games, I'll be like, man, fuck them damn video games, Trap. Ain't nobody got time for that shit, you big ass fucking kid. In there playing video games for hours. Like, so, bro, I like video games. But that's what I'm gonna do next, as soon as I leave out of here. Because, what? I went to the gym this morning. I put gas in the car, so I filled up the tank. I went to the gym. I filled up the tank. I got a couple things from the grocery store because I ain't had no milk from my protein shakes. I had my protein shake. I did some laundry. I worked on some art. I ain't got shit else to do today. Playing games. I'm gonna come back up here and work on this painting a little bit more, because I only got paint. Damn, why I keep wanting to go to the wrong side? So I only got paint on her jacket and her face and her hair. And I fucked up her jacket too, yo. As soon as I saw what I did, I was like, how the fuck did you not see that? How did you not see that? And I just looked at it like, I don't know, I really didn't see that part. And so it's kind of fucked up, but hey, it's only the underpainting, and that's the thing. Like, the underpainting, you paint over it and you paint over it, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'll just paint over that shit and make it right in the future. But right now, it's fucked up. But it will be right. Before it's all said and done, it'll be right. So, work on the drawing. Work on this painting. Then I can work on this painting here in the front down there. And then I have photos from another photo shoot I just did and I can put that on the canvas and work on that painting. I'm painting a bunch of girls lately. I need to paint a dude other than myself. Because the last few paintings of guys that I've done has been me. And me. And I need some handsome male models. But nobody wants to photograph with me. So I just have to photograph my handsome self. You know, fuck them. I'll do it myself. I'll do everything myself. I take my own pictures of myself and paint pictures of myself to myself, dedicated to me, by me, from me. I'll put it up on the auction and I'll buy it back from the auction. Who gives a fuck? Alright. Show. How many panels do we have done? Oh, I ripped a lot of pages out from right there. So essentially I've been working on this, getting this up to scale and getting the final drawing ready for production. I'll show you guys this one more time and I'll go grab the other model real quick. Let me see. Shit looks all crazy. Really? Did the batteries die? The batteries didn't die, but the bulbs that are... all the bulbs that I plugged in are all the bulbs that aren't working now. Isn't that some shit? Anyway. So this is my burning building design. And it's just a little house that's on fire. There's a fire going on in there, and you can open the windows. Oh, you can't really see through the glass. You see, there's fire in there. Ah, help. And see, this is going to be an information panel. And then here's another image panel with a lady trying to get rescued from the fire. And then here can be another information panel. This is going to be dedicated to a local volunteer African American fire brigade called the Hook and Ladder Company. And for Black History Month, I want to do some interactive art installations to tell different stories about local African American people. And so I thought by building this building here, building a building and telling the story of the volunteer Hook and Ladder Fire Company would be cool for the kids to learn about, and plus having it as a interactive piece would be more interesting and fun for the kids to actually play with, because they can, like I say, open the doors and the windows on the building. So we're gonna make this about 4 or 5 feet tall. And then we're gonna do this one of another local figure. A local strongman was breaking a bunch of Guinness World Records back in the day. His name is Chimesy Williams. And so we're gonna tell about his life. Yo, Jason, what's up? Same old shit, making some art, bro. And with this piece, though, in order to have the kids interact with it, I wanted to build like a pulley system where you can just like not fuck it up like that. Wow. I made this a while ago and now the glue isn't holding anymore. that's why I need to go ahead and hurry up and finish this last rendition of it and get the actual thing built. But in essence, I want, come on, just work. When you pull the string, he lifts the weights. It's what should happen in theory. Pull the string, and he lifts the weights. It's amazing, right? I think kids will like to play with that. And they can sit there and pull it a couple times and play, oh my, look, he lifts the weights. And they pull it, and look, watch this, he lifts the weights. And then we're going to have information and actual photos of the real Chimes Williams to tell about his life and story. But essentially, with better building materials, everything should flow a little bit more easier, and it should reset itself by itself without actually having to pull it down. I just need better connectors and hinges and shit for this stuff. So what I'm doing is working on the final illustrations for this project to be printed, because we're probably gonna print it on some, like a vinyl sticker, and then put the vinyl sticker on to some foam board, and then cut the foam board to shape, and then assemble the foam board together how we want it to be. In theory, that's how we plan on getting this shit done. Where did those drawings just go? What the fuck? What in the wild, wild world of sports? Did I really put them that far in there? Why did I put them so far in the fucking book? So this is yeah, that one is done. That one back there is done, and I started working on that one now. So 2 pictures of me. And so, as you can see, this is actually in 3 sections. So his forearms, the weights, and the bar, that's all one piece. His little biceps here, that's a piece by itself. And that's a piece by itself, and then his whole torso and his legs are just one piece by itself. So his arms are where the motion is at. So there's a joint here and a joint there. And like I say, that's one piece, individual piece by itself. So I figured I guess I'd just draw it out the same way again that I did it on there. So you have the one central piece. Like I say, we can just print this out. I wanted it to look like an old black and white photo kind of, and then once we get it scanned and get it into the computer, I can manipulate it and add some different filters to it if I want. But so yeah, so they got the main piece here, and then we have his 2 biceps. We can print those and cut those out separately, and his arms with the bar. And I think actually when we print the bar out, we might have to cut it here on the actual printed out version and extend it, and so his arms would be a little bit further apart. I really couldn't go too far because I only had that much room on the paper, but I really do want his arms to be spread out just a little bit more. And so essentially take these pieces and this piece, print all of this out, stick it to the vinyl, cut it out, and then build a stand for it to be propped up on, and get some like I say, some functioning pieces to fabricate it, and that should come together nicely. It's a pretty cool drawing. And then the other part here is for the house. That was the first rough draft I tried to do, but so this is going to be for the firefighting model, and it's like say once we print all of this out, we can cut the vinyl here and have the shutters open up so you can actually see inside of the house. You can cut the door. I might even draw like some false hinges on the door or something. And so that's the roof. So this is the house itself, and I guess the top of it will come out right there, and the top part. And so now I just need to do the drawings for the inside of the house, where like I said, the downstairs. I want you to be able to open the front door and actually look into the house, and then there's something in there that's kind of burning, to give the impression that you have to go up to the second floor to rescue this person, because that was the whole purpose of having a hook and ladder system for this volunteer firefighting service, is that if someone needed to be rescued from a higher level, they actually had the capabilities to do that, because they didn't have like all the fancy extension ladders and all that shit they have now. So when you look inside, it's just like a hallway, the entry hallway into the foyer, and you can see that that's on fire, and it's like, oh fuck, but we can't go downstairs, so how are we going to rescue this person from upstairs and from the third floor? And it's like, help me, I got a baby in my arms. And it's like, oh shit, call the hook and ladder fire department, they got a long ass ladder. And then they come with their long ass ladder to the rescue. Let's see. Open. And so this one has another room that's on fire. Got your desk and your bed is catching on fire. So that's all I need to draw now, is draw finalize and add a little detail to the foyer drawing, the damsel in distress drawing, and the bedroom on fire drawing. Man, don't come in here and get banned early in the morning, man. You know I don't do no fucking drugs, bro. My nose is ready. So, are we already at 3 hours? So let me at least... Let me try to at least do a quick panel for each one of these. Then, swear to God, I'm taking a break. I'm going to get on some video games. Gonna play some games. I just ate some lunch, so you know what that means. Shoot, I might have me a little drink. What? Have me a little drink while I play some games. Alright, so what we want to do is, got, 3 panels to draw. Let's see if we can get some squares. How do I make a square? Huh? How do I make a square, guys? I want to do like a 4-inch square. Maybe. So let's see. If I would just, not trying to be super duper perfect with everything. But if this is, let's see. Let's do it at, if that's 13 inches from the bottom, right? Okay. I come over to this side. I'll put this right here, 13 inches from the bottom. Kind of like me. Anyway, back to the art. So now both of these dashes are 13 inches from the bottom, right? So if I do that, in theory, that shit should be a straight and even line. So now I'll use that line as the bottom of my fucking square, right? So what I want to do is, come in from the edge like 2 inches, something like that. Come in up here like 2 inches, something like that, right? Then I'll probably do like a 4-inch square. Make this line, and then if I want 4 inches, and 4 inches isn't a bad number, guys. So boom, that's 4 inches for Nay. Come here, boom. That's 4 inches from Nay, and then that right there should be 4 inches from Nay. So you take this, bitch. Make another mark. 4. Now you can line these two lines up and say, oh, that's a 4 and a 4. Oh, and that's a 4 and a 4. Now, is this 4 by 4 square big enough for me to draw in? Or should I have made it bigger? A little bit bigger. Wow, really? Really though? You want to make a cricket line? Like a cricket eye? Huh? Really now, cricket eye? Wait in the Sam Boogie. Alright, so instead of 4 by 4, this is a 6 by 6. That's a square. That's what I call squared up. And so in this 6 by 6 panel, I want to have that's crazy. Who Lord is a Jew? He's Jew-ish. kind of like black-ish, but not, you know, he's not a Jew, like a Jew. It's kind of like Jew-ish. What it do, everybody? Everybody, what it do? What it do, everybody? All right, we about to get up out of here in a minute. Like I say, we about to go get on the other PlayStation downstairs and play some Titanfall. You know what I'm saying? We about to smoke and drink and play video games for a minute. As soon as I kind of just sketch out, just try to get a rough sketch of somebody trying to get saved from a burning building. And they're screaming like, "Help me, motherfucker! Please, this place is burning the fuck down, bitch!" And should I make it a man or a lady? It really is all about the hair. Most of you dudes look like bitches anyway. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Look like a little bitch. Oh, man. I should look for like some kind of reference photo. At least, you know, something. But no. You want to draw out of your fucking mind? What the fuck are you as a comic book artist now? You just want to make shit up? This motherfucker just want to draw some shit from his imagination. Like he tough like that. He's like, no, save me from the fire. And then behind her is going to be like fire and shit coming up. Ooh, flames. Fire, 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 fire. Fire. It's cool, man, cool. Something like that, maybe. Alright, got one panel done. Rough sketch for one panel. We can refine that later. So, what else? And the other two are going to be basically just as simple. I don't want to overcomplicate this piece. You know, I just want some really, really simple imagery so that people can readily get the idea behind it, and that's it. And we made it to 3 hours of making art today, guys. For everyone who's been in here since the stream has started, or who has been in here for a while at least, yo, really appreciate you guys chilling with me in the studio. Always do. Always appreciate the company in here, especially with the good conversations, the compliments and comments that we have going on here throughout the debate section, throughout the debate section of the stream.
68 or regressions.
But I am gonna take a break from the art and go rock my brain for a couple hours while I play video games and have junk food and snacks. Who doesn't want to do that? Huh? You don't want to play video games and eat junk food. Yo. You're not American. Who doesn't like junk food and video games? Oh, Health Nut Vegans. I forgot. Fucking Health Nut Vegans. Is that vegan? Oh, I can't have that. Alright, like I say, I'm out of here, but I'm just going downstairs. And we're going to continue streaming for a couple hours. Catch y'all in the living room. Peace.